Hi, my name is Philip Bridges, and let's talk about guns. I think everyone here knows what a gun is. This is the AK-47, the weapon of choice for terrorists and activist groups across the world. Now, thanks to guns, they're very heroic. They're used by our military forces to keep our country safe. Therefore, they keep our children safe, and they make us sleep well at night. But the cost of this is we put people through some of the worst situations in the history of mankind. And that's because, why do we buy guns? What do they equal? Think positive thoughts here, people. Come on, what do they do? Anyone?
They shoot things.
That's right, because guns equal death. If you buy a gun or if you have a gun, what do you have it for? You're either using it to kill someone or kill some animal. That's the bottom line with guns. You're buying it, And it's just so sad that we just buy and sell death every single day across America. You can literally walk into a gun store and just look at how many ways there are to kill someone. Military is constantly wanting new weapons so they can have the latest ways of killing people across seas and nations. We're constantly looking for that new cutting edge. Another extreme example of how we just sell death, not necessarily guns, was the Manhattan Projects. Over the course of 4 years, America employed over 130,000 people to create the A-bomb. And also it was more than just the military. It also had people from Cornell University, some of the smartest people in the Allied forces, and it costed America $2 billion back then, equivalent to $22 million. But, I don't think it takes a genius that what they did could literally lead us to a future genocide of our own place. We could literally blow up. They changed the course of history, had a terrible arms race, the Cold War. And let's not forget what happened to Japan. It literally leveled the place and left millions of people, thousands of people with radiation poisoning and killed many people. Now, more importantly, let's talk about guns in America. Guns are a huge part of our culture. We have movies, you can play almost every video game has a gun in it, They're a huge part. And also, it's our Second Amendment, God help us. The right to bear arms. And it was written by our forefathers, people who formed America. But now, I think rednecks are just going to take that to the grave with them, and why guns will never be legalized. Idiots like this are the reason why we never will. People who care more about owning a fully automatic rifle than health care, that's the reason why. Now, I agree with the Second Amendment, because when America was created, it was a vast country with people need to protect themselves. It wasn't the industrial paradise that it is today. People were literally on farms in the open range where they had to carry guns in order to protect themselves. And, but now let's compare, now rednecks always say, it's our Second Amendment, it's the law. But let's compare America to ancient civilizations like, say, Rome or Greece or Egypt. They were considered to be the ultimate races of their time, and to keep up this amount, say if someone caught leprosy, or say if someone was born with birth defects, or didn't believe in the same religion, what happened to these people? They were terminated, literally killed off from society. But do Rome, Egypt, and Greece, do they still live by these standards today? Because that was originally that's why they got to where they were, keeping up a huge standard of human life. And what happened to all these civilizations? Eventually, with such inequality and mad dictation, they all burned to the ground and somehow ended. Now, in Virginia, if you have a pulse and a driver's license, you can walk into almost any Walmart and walk out a half an hour later with a gun. Yeah, man, Walmart, save money, live better. And that's how certain people can get a hold of guns. Like, take the Virginia Tech shooter, for instance. He legally got 2 9mm off a gun store. And take that Klansman, for instance. Many of Klansmen have guns. And that's why America is #1 for school shootings, crimes relating guns, and deaths relating guns. And that's partly because people just aren't that responsible in America when it comes to guns, since they're such a huge part of our culture. For instance, and also, a gun is just a gateway to death, the same reason why certain drugs are gateways to something. If something's there, you're more likely to use it. Say you're with your girlfriend, you're jacked up on a bunch of coke, you guys get into a fight, you know you have a gun, you pull that out trying to scare her or something, because it's right there, something's more liable, bad to happen. And also, we're constantly inspiring to want guns. Take one of the most influential rappers of all time, Tupac Shakur. He wrote the biggest West Coast jam of all time, California Love. That's a dope jam, y'all. But also Tupac implored things like thug life and, live by the gun, die by the gun. Well, I'll tell you something, Tupac, you certainly did die by the gun. You got shot 5 times, spent the last by someone who obviously was listening to your music. You spent the last 5 days of your life in a terrible coma and had a failed lung transplant. Wow, what a false prophecy for a group of idiots who just inspire to be just like him. Now, guns are destroying America, stealing life, ruining families, and for what? So a bunch of middle-aged guys from Missouri with insecure grips on their manhood can stockpile killing machines in their closets. So, my solution is we send every single gun to the moon, where we can, they'll be safe away from anyone to be able to get them, and also so we can go retrieve them again, just in case there's a zombie apocalypse or, or aliens show up. But maybe the world just doesn't work like that. Maybe it's just one giant battle royale, and man is not happy whenever he's at peace. Because maybe there's just always going to be that bit of Neanderthal that just can't accept that we can't have weapons. So, but you can do your part in today's modern society. You can join gun associations and interest groups, vote against laws for certain gun legalizations. Like, example of that is how the National Rifle Association is trying to legalize fully automatic guns, or aka military weapons. And that's it, the end.